Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you are joining us from, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Simon Thorpe from the Business Review, and I will be the host for today's session. It's our pleasure to have Canusa-CPS with us today, who will be discussing electrically resistive pipeline coatings and cathodic shielding. Today's guest speaker is Bob Buchanan, and he's the Global Marketing Manager for Canusa. I'd like to take this opportunity to remind the audience that you can submit questions using the Q&A tool at the right-hand side of your screen, and you can do this at any point throughout the presentation. We will then allocate around 10 to 15 minutes to try and answer any questions or thoughts. So, without further ado, please allow me to welcome Bob. Over to you.
Well, welcome to this webinar that's sponsored by Canusa-CPS, and I want to thank Business Review Webinars for helping us host this webinar. Canusa is a division of Shawcor Limited, which is a global oil field services company. Today we're going to go over the often discussed subject of pipeline coatings and cathodic shielding. It's notable that the topic is generally US-centric, but when I looked at who is registered for this webinar, I was intrigued to see that it's a global audience who has interest in the topic. With that in mind, I'll show some statistics later that highlight the fact that multi-layer high dielectric strength coatings are by far the preferred coating worldwide.
On to the next then. It's okay, so you wrote high dielectric constant coatings do not shield on their own. The question is, I don't really understand because it seems like it would shield. Can you sort of explain on that point?
Well, high dielectric strength coatings, I think as you referred to, or electrically resistive coatings, don't shield on their own because shielding would be if they're severely despondent. That's when you're concerned about shielding, I suppose. They're intended to be a coating that resists the path of electrical current. So basically, if your materials are well applied and well adhered, then shielding is not a consideration, and maybe that's what I meant by that point. They don't shield on their own. It's primarily they're intended to be electrically resistant and applied well.